Good girl. Stay up there. Today, we're going to talk about why you should get an Australian Shepherd. If you've been thinking about getting an Australian Shepherd, then this is a great video for you to watch to learn what we love about our little Aussies. From the Split Arrow Farm, and welcome to our channel. If this is your first time here, then I'll give you a quick background. Chris and I recently bought a 10-acre plot of land and we're looking to create a farm out of it. We have never done anything with farming before, so this is our first time. Now, we've always had our little pup, Paige, who's actually a mini Australian Shepherd. I'll show you her here. So she's about 22 pounds full size, and she is considered a tricolor Aussie pup. So she is black, brown, and white. But Aussies actually come in a few different colors. We also have Mags, who is our Merle. I'll grab her. So we have Mags, who's a Merle, and she's actually going to be a full size. So she'll be between 35 and 65 pounds. She's 16 pounds right now at 12 weeks, but her size is really going to be dependent on her mom and dad. So if you're cautious of what size your pup's going to be, you want to definitely take a look at their parents, because that is going to be really telling. Now, Aussie, why did I just call her an Aussie? If you've been researching about Australian Shepherds, or if you've met some on the street, you probably heard a lot of people call them Aussies. And that's kind of a nickname that Australian Shepherds go by. You would think that they actually came from Australia, but they're American dogs who spent most of their lives around cowboys and herding sheep, which is what gave them that bobbed tail. Max, come here, show me your bobbed tail. Yes, so there are a lot of breeds that will actually get their tail knocked off, but Aussies are naturally born with this little knobbed tail, and that is because of their days herding sheep when they would get stuck or caught or torn. So because of natural selection, they just started to be born without them. Now, Paige is a full-size tail, so some of them are born with full-size tails. It can really go both ways, but it is fun to know that they're actually born that way and they're not cut off. But let's get into the 5 reasons why I think you should get an Australian Shepherd. Number 1 is that they are so smart. I would say they're the smartest dogs I've ever met. I had a lab growing up, and she is nothing compared to these pups. Their minds are so big, and they can learn so much so quickly. When you get your pup at 8 weeks, you can already start to train them a plethora of different things, and you're gonna wanna start early. Mags at 8 weeks was already being able to sit, shake, lay down. So she's been able to learn so much so quickly. But don't let this smartness take advantage of you. If these dogs have a moment to take advantage of you, they will. For example, Paige, we've let her sit in the front seat of the car on my lap, and she now will not sit anywhere but the front seat of the car on my lap. We've tried so hard to get her in the back, but she knows that she can get it out of us, and she will get it out of us. So be smart with your dogs and really make sure that they stick to the rules that you want them to have. The second reason I think you should get an Australian Shepherd is because they have so much energy. Coming from a herding background, they were running around like wild, and that energy is contagious. I knew when we got a dog that I wanted to have a running buddy, and Paige has really done a great job of that. She can run 3-5 miles and still have a ball of energy left. But as you think about getting an Australian Shepherd, remember that if you are a sedative person or you don't like to do too much activity, that this might not be the dog for you. They require around 1 to 2 hours of physical activity a day. And if they don't get that, they will be really destructive around the house, especially if you're not home. They could tear up couches, rugs, really get into a lot of mischievous things. So you are going to want to make sure that you are really keeping up with your dog. You're making them exercise, whether it's hiking, walking, swimming, running, that you're getting around with them and you're getting outside and doing activities with them. And also because of their smartness, you're gonna wanna be doing things with their mind as well. So you're gonna wanna do maybe some training activities with them to really stimulate their brains as well as their physicalness. Australian Shepherds are great at keeping boundaries, but what does that mean? When you're outside, you want to make sure that your dogs can run free and they're not running into someone else's property, they're not going into the neighbors, they're not running into the road. You want to make sure that your dog is safe. Australian Shepherds do tend to chase after animals, which can be scary because you don't want them to run for miles and miles and not be able to find their way home. But they are great at keeping their boundaries. So if you take your dog and you walk them around your property, around the boundary lines that you want them to keep, then they will keep those boundaries. So for example, when we first moved to our 10-acre plot of land, we would take Mags and Paige on lead around the property. And then after a while, we took them off lead and we would just walk them around and get them to know the area. And we'd kind of yell at them if they were going in the wrong area or say good girl in the right area. And it really taught them to learn the property, and we didn't have to put up fences because they just know the area really well and they stay within the bounds that we want them to, which is great as a puppy and as an owner because you know your dog is safe. Now, with keeping their property and boundaries, another reason why I think you should get an Australian Shepherd is they are great guard dogs. When they're trying to keep the area and their property, they do get very territorial, and they get it in a few different ways. So one, if any people are coming that they don't know, so think delivery man, or someone trying to attack your house, probably not going to happen. But delivery man is probably a really great example. Paige will always alert us when everyone or anyone is here, which I love. Working from home, it makes me feel really safe in our house because I have a built-in security system. But then outside, it's really great because they kind of scare off any of the deer from eating any of our plants or soon to be crops, and they will keep all of our livestock safe by chasing out any predators or animals that we don't want on the property. Lastly, why I think you should get an Australian Shepherd is that they are great with kids and other dogs. As you can see, Mags and Paige are best of friends, but when we go to dog parks or have friends over with dogs, we know that they'll be safe. They're also really great with cats and kids, and this is because we socialize them at a young age. Australian Shepherds are naturally quite timid of people and other animals, so you're going to want to make sure to socialize your Aussie at the beginning, but if you do, you're going to have great success and really love Aussies from the beginning up. To finish up this video, I am going to be playing some beautiful and cute clips of our pups just to give you a glimpse of what it's like to have an Aussie as a pup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel as we do post every week new content about our adventures of creating a farm. And we'll see you guys again next week. Bye!